Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the one for October 2023. It's called the Falling Leaves Collection. This is going to be a really easy necklace, well, except for the fact that I'm going to try to wire wrap this little pendant here, and y'all know I'm not good at that. I don't like doing that, but I'm going to try to do that. In case you're not familiar, the Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription of beads and findings. It's $22.99 a month, and that includes shipping in the United States. They have beautiful beads and findings. It's always curated around a different theme each month. And if you're a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains, and you can use it as many times as you want to during the month, and they already have great prices. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with the link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. And here I have the 8mm green Aventurine faceted beads that came in the box, and a couple of the little 4mm Magma AB bicones that came in the box. And here I've got the 10mm matte Carnelian beads that came in the box. I've got the 30 by 22mm green Aventurine carved leaf pendant and a piece of 20 gauge German style wire that I'm going to try to use to wire wrap it with. I'm using some of my Duracoat galvanized gold 11O seed beads to space out the beads. I'm going to use them as spacers. I've got some bead caps from my stash. I've got some findings. I've got a lobster clasp, 3 6mm jump rings, 1 8mm jump ring, 2 2x2 crimp tubes, 2 wire guardians, a couple of pieces of paperclip chain, and a smaller piece of paperclip chain that I'm going to use as an extender. And I have a ball head pin and one of the little bicones I'm going to hang off the extender chain as a dangle. I've got my bead stoppers. I'm going to be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, and both pairs of my cutters. A lot of those I'll just be using when I make the dangle to hang off the extender chain. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I get to cut them off. He's getting full. I'm going to have to empty him. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below. So hold on and let me get everything out of the way so I can try to wire wrap this leaf here, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to try to wire wrap this pendant and get this over with. I'm using a piece of 20 gauge wire this time instead of the 22 gauge I usually use, and it's only about 4 inches long. I've been using about 6 inches when I try to do this, but I guess I'm getting cocky and thinking that I can get by with just 4 inches this time. But I've been using like 6 inches and I always have way too much. So I'm going to try 4 inches this time. So I'm going to put my wire through my pendant here. If it'll go, yeah, there we go. And I'm going to leave a little bit of wire on this end and more wire on this end. That's probably about I don't know, 1.5 inches maybe there. And I'm going to bend the wire up over the top of the bead there. And then I'm going to bend this wire over until they make a little triangle at the top of my pendant there. Try to get that little intersection centered over the top of my pendant there like that. And now I'm going to twist it. I'm going to try to wrap this shorter piece of wire around the longer piece. Just maybe one time, just once or twice here, just to try to get it locked in. Okay, now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off this extra wire. Try to make my cut to the back of the pendant here. Okay, now I'm gonna straighten this up here. Now I'm gonna take my tweezer pliers, and I want my loop to go this way because I'm gonna hang it off my necklace. So straighten this up a little more. I'll go to the very tip of my pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers. Looks like I've still got way too much wire here. I don't want to make a really big loop because I'm going to hang it between those two little bicones I had in my tray there. So I'm going to got my round nose pliers facing me. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight. Take this part in under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Or the loop is centered over the bead. Now I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down a little bit. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrapping under the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. And now I'm going to just wrap till I meet that wire down there. That is an awfully small loop, but I think that's what I want because I'm going to hang it between those two little bicones. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Try to make my cut to the back of the pendant here. And I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use the little half circles on each end there to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. And I'm going to do this very gently because I don't want to mess up my loop or my wraps. Well, that's what I've got. I guess I can live with that. So hold on, I'm going to go ahead and string up my necklace so y'all don't have to watch me string all these little seed beads and stuff. And when I come back, I'll show you what my pattern is and I'll crimp it. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, this is what I've got now. And I realized I forgot to mention my beading wire that I'm using. I'm using Soft Flex in fine. This is 21 strand and it's the satin silver color. I don't have any gold. But it really doesn't matter. Once you get all the beads on there, you're not going to be able to see the wire anyway. And I forgot to mention that I'm using gold findings instead of the rose gold that came in the box. Like I said on the last video I did, I don't have any rose gold wire guardians, and I really don't like crimping directly to the clasp or directly to the chain or whatever. I really like to use wire guardians, so I'm using gold this time instead of rose gold. And my pattern here is, I've got, obviously, bead caps around all the beads and 11/0 seed beads between all the beads as spacers. And then I've got 3 of the 8mm green aventurine beads, 1 of the 10mm matte carnelian beads, 1 of the 8mm beads, 3 of the 10mm beads, 1 8mm, 3 10mm, and then I've got my 2 bicones here with my leaf hanging between them. And then I've got the same on the other side, 3 10mm, 1 8mm, 3 10mm, 1 8mm, 1 10mm, and 3 8mm. So now I'm going to crimp. I'm going to take my crimp tube, my wire guardian, Go up one channel of my wire guardian, come down the other channel of my wire guardian, and back through my crimp tube. Hold my wires apart. No, don't let them get crossed in there, because we want our, when we crimp, we want our wires to be separate and be in two different channels of the crimp tube, and if they get crossed, they won't do that. I'm going to take these crimping pliers, I'm going to take the part with the tooth there. I'm going to lay the tooth on top. I'm going to squeeze. And that puts each wire in its own little channel there. Now there's 3 half circles at the top there. I'm going to go on the one in the middle one. That's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'm going to lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. I don't think I had it laid in there right. Squeeze. I'm going to go down a little bit more and squeeze a little bit more. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to push everything down. And I always just leave the wire on the spool until I get done, because I think that maybe that I don't waste as much if I do that. Now I'm going to cut it off my spool. I'm going to take my crimp tube and my wire guardian, and I think I have bent my little end here. I need to cut it off. Won't go through my wire guardian good if it's like that. So now I'm going to put my wire guardian on. Come down the other channel of the wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube. Try to keep my wires from getting crossed. Now I like to go through a bead on this side to get my hands out of the way, and it's harder to crimp on this side because the beads are in the way and everything. So if I can get my hands out of the way, it helps. I want to get through my bead caps and my bead. I am not doing a very good job of this. Let's pull it out and start over here. Okay, I think I've got there. Got to be careful with these little filigree bead caps and get through the right holes. It's very easy to get through the wrong holes. Okay, now I'm going to hold my wire guardian and pull my wire down. Try to keep my wires from getting crossed. I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, that no wire is showing, but I don't want it to be too tight, because if it's too tight, it'll be bunched up and look weird and not drape well. I just want to make sure all my little bead caps are in place. I think they are. So now I'm going to take my crimping pliers and take the part with the tooth again. Lay my tooth on top. Squeeze. Okay, now I'm going to Go into that part with the half circle again. Lay my crimp in there and get it laid in there now. Squeeze. Go down and squeeze just a little more. I'm going to tug. That's good. I'm going to cut off my extra wire. So that's what I got so far. So now I'm going to get my findings and put them on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got a couple of pieces of my paper clip chain here. These are about, they're a little over 3 inches, might be 3.5 inches. I'm going to take one of my 6mm jump rings. Open it up. Put one side of my necklace on. And my chain. My jump ring closed up. Sure to get it closed up really well. I'm going to take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. These are really thick jump rings. I think I ordered 16 gauge by mistake. I meant to get 18 gauge, and I'm pretty sure these are 16 gauge because they're really thick. Get it closed back up really well. I'm telling you, it's hard to close these. They're so thick. I guess I've got it closed. I can't find the slit, so it must be closed fairly well. Okay, now take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Put my, I don't know if both wire guardian will go on. Yeah, there it goes. I was afraid it wouldn't go on there because it's so thick. Now put my other end of my chain on here. Close it up. I'm going to take an 8mm jump ring. I think this is an 18 gauge, so I should be able to handle it better. Put it on this end. Put my extender chain on here. Okay, so that's what I got so far. So now hold on, I'll get my little bicone and my ball head pin to make my dangle, so I'll be back. Okay, I've got my ball head pin here, my little bicone. I'm going to put this on here. I'll take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers, and I almost forgot again, but I'm not gonna, I remembered I'm going to open my loop and put my extender chain on here. I forget this all the time and end up having to put it on with a jump ring. Okay, now close my loop back. I'm going to hold on to my loop, Try to hold my chain out of the way here. Bring my wire down a little bit there. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrapping under the loop. And then just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and crimp in my little burr. So that's what I've got. Now I'm all done. I don't know why I attached to there. I think I attached to my paper clip chain instead of my jump ring. There we go. So that's what I've got. So hold on, let me get some of my tools put up and I'll get it laid out here and I'll be back. Okay, so there's my necklace made with some of the contents of the most recent Bark and Bead box, the Falling Leaves collection. I really do believe this to be a really good value box. I'm always able to get many, many pieces out of one box. And that coupon code you get for being a subscriber that you can use at their sister store is really awesome. It's 30% and you can use it as many times as you want to during the month. So I just really believe this to be a very good value box. Like I said, if you're not a subscriber to the Bark and Bead box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.